Hello, all. I'm Harsha, one of the moderators of Job Seeker Visa group on Facebook and on the Faraway Planet blog. I would like to give you an update on the coronavirus in Germany and also the revival process here. Starting 15th of July, EU borders have been reopened, and 1st of July, citizens of 15 countries where EU believes the coronavirus is contained are allowed to travel EU for non-essential travel, and they don't need to be in quarantine. However, in few countries like Italy, they could travel from other countries, from these 15 countries, but they still have to be in quarantine for 15 days or so. And few other countries like Norway, which is only allowing people from Nordic countries only, but they are also allowing, if you have got a Norwegian work contract and you want to move to Norway for your work, you could go there, but you have to be in mandatory quarantine for 10 days. However, Norway is not part of EU. I just wanted to give you an update. This is about the current border reopening, and unfortunately, Germany is not yet accepting Indian citizens or Indian citizens yet. The reason is the cases in India are way too high. They are not even accepting citizens from Brazil, Russia, and USA as well, because of the surge and the active cases in these countries. However, I assume, by no means I'm part of the decision making here, but it's just my by analyzing the pattern. I think starting August, they would the complete EU borders would be reopened irrespective of the cases, but it is mostly tentative. It's just to boom the tourism in EU. That's what my assumption is. And coming to the economic revival, German government has been doing ingesting a lot of liquidity into the system, though they face severe uh, revenue deficit this year. But at this point in time, the German finance minister Scharf said that this is not the time for austerity. Despite having a revenue deficit, the German government wants to spend a lot of money in ingesting the capital for the businesses, so as to revive the economy. Because just like other countries, German economy is also impacted badly because of the COVID-19, and mainly because of the COVID-19. So, what has government done? So, mainly they have, starting 1st of July, the VAT on a few products has been VAT has been reduced from 19% to 16% until this year end. And on hospitality VAT, it has been reduced from 7 to 5. So this would be active until this year end. So this is one first thing, and the second thing is like the social contributions of an employee are capped to 40%. So even though the government needs more money to take care of the social contributions like pension, healthcare, and other and unemployment insurance and these things, they actually increase every year based on the amount of people contributing to the pension and the healthcare systems. If there is a deficit, then they will raise the surcharges and things like that. But this year, the government has capped that social contribution limit to 40% until 2021, so that they want people to have more money, which could increase the liquidity in the system. So, and in addition to that, government has invested, has deferred the taxes for companies. They are giving some kind of subsidies to the electric car buyers as part of their climate action plan. And they have given less liability loans to the companies, just to ensure the capital, just to ensure they have enough liquidity to safeguard the jobs and to sustain their business. So this is what Germany has been doing, and by now you would be already knowing, in Europe, Germany has very high, very low fatality rate. It's because of their reaction, their early reaction to the breakout happened in Italy, and the contact tracing and excellent healthcare system they have in presence here. So this is a pretty much overview of what the government has been doing and it had done before, just to contain the virus and to revive the economy. Uh, Coming to the industry level impact in Germany, I would say the aviation industry and aviation travel and tourism industry have been hit pretty badly because there were hardly repatriation and air freight flights which are carrying cargo were only flying out of EU and within EU. Within EU, they were flying, but mainly out of EU, only these cargo flights and repatriation flights were flying, and the bookings were literally close to zero. So this had severe impact on aviation industry, and it was also suffering some kind of climate actions much before coronavirus. And indeed, this crisis has impacted the industry even more. So, in many low-caste carriers have already started firing employees, and many have even shut the operations. And it's not just confined to the low-caste carriers, including Lufthansa, which is one of the biggest players in Germany and in the Europe. They also decided to fire 22,000 employees because they think they could not survive without laying off. That's something, and also the growth is something which is actually not a priority for these companies because they just want to survive and sustain their businesses. So the hiring in aviation industry is almost impossible as far as I know for this year because of the impact they have had. And also there was some kind of analysis which was done by some competitive intelligence teams, and it's not actually an authorized or authenticated one, but based on the patterns and with the data they have, they told like airlines already lost 10 years profit they were making just during this time. And to recover to the previous stage they have had, it would be close to somewhere around 2023. So I'm just telling you this to give you an update on the impact this coronavirus had on the aviation industry. And it's not just confined to airlines, and including airports also, wherein they employ a lot of people in different sections, right from the security to check-in to the groundwork and baggage handling and everything, every operation which happens in the airport. They were also basically trimmed down because there were few people at airport and not many flights were flying. So airports also suffered severe crisis during this time. So aviation industry is something which has had the severe impact, but it's growing now to some extent, but not completely. The international travel is not yet resumed, and there is a lot of unpredictability. So the things are not yet up to the expectation, I say. But there is some improvement because the EU borders have been reopened and people are traveling. However, more than the air travel, hotel industry is booming faster because hotel bookings were also impacted before. Uh, because of this COVID-19, people were not allowed to stay. First of all, they were not traveling, and even if they traveled, they were not allowed to live in hotels during their travel because the hotels were told if they were the only people who were in quarantine were supposed to be there. So this is, but now the situation is bit improved, and we see a lot of people traveling within EU, and they are making hotel bookings. So there is a comparatively a bigger surge than the air travel. And also this is about, and also the tourism industry like thermal spas and other attractions like cable cars in Europe at many places, and many tourist attractions have been reopened, uh, but with social distancing measures and all, which is bit better. It was not opened at all before. So now the tourist attractions are also open, and they are expected to they're expecting more traffic in near future. So this is about the impact it has had on the aviation industry and how it is right now. And next, I would like to talk about the mechanical and automotive industry. This industry also had suffered a lot because it has nothing to do with the COVID-19. Aviation industry was something like it's basically a service industry wherein people travel and they don't be so close to the passengers. They will be so close in the aircrafts and all. But if you buy a car and if you are driving alone, by no means you get or catch any COVID-19. But the industry has had a lot of problems much before the coronavirus. The first thing was the climatic action. There was a lot of discussion globally to switch to non-fossil fuel automobiles like electric and other alternative vehicles. But that actually had an impact on the German automobiles. And the second thing is the weak demand. So globally, there is a weak demand right now, and with COVID-19, the demand even doomed down a bit. So these two factors actually have had destructive impact on the automobile industry. I have few friends working in this sector, and they were actually put on Kurzarbeit. Kurzarbeit in German means the short time work. So Kurz means short, Arbeit means work. So rather working 5 days a week, they were asked to work 3 days a week just to save the production costs. In especially in automobile, and not only in the production and even R&D, the budgets have been stripped down because if people don't buy any cars, there is no point in investing in R&D. That's what the mechanical companies are also doing here. Automotive companies are also doing here. So they are basically ensuring they have enough cash in their treasury so that they could invest in the things which actually matters to them. R&D is also a priority, but at this point in time, I don't think they are focusing much on the R&D. They are looking for the survival and the service industry. So this is about the impact on automotive industry. However, the government is encouraging people by giving some kind of subsidies to the electric mobility cars and also the automobiles which emit lesser emissions. But this will ensure some kind of this will fix the weak demand to some extent, but still people need to have money to buy cars. That weak demand is always a problem, and climatic actions, almost all automobile industries are working on electric mobility transportations. So this is about the automobile industry. And coming to the financial industry, until last week it was all doing okay, but there was a financial scam which was exposed at a company based out of Munich called Wirecard. It's actually a payments company. They were found to be doing some kind of misfinancial reporting, and because of that, the market value of that company got eroded pretty badly. And almost 5,500 plus people work for that company in Munich. And at this point in time, their future and the company future is highly unpredictable. Their clients are actually moving to a better provider. I wouldn't say better, but they think their partner is at a risk, so they are choosing a better partner who is at least predictable. And the acquisition is also unpredictable, is also not possible because the German federal court has asked uh, has put some kind of stay on acquisitions of this company. And yeah, as I said, like 5,500 people, mainly in technology domain. They are Most of them are actually are looking for jobs, and this will also uh, be a problem for job seeker, because there are enough people who have some kind of experience here, and they know how things work in Germany, and they are not happy with their with the Wirecard, because their salaries may get delayed, and and they don't know the future of their company. So there are many of them. I have few friends here because I am also living close to Munich. So they already told me that they are actually looking for a job. So this, if you are into technology and you have come to Munich to find a job, you will most probably be facing more competition from these guys. This is what I think. So this is about the financial sector. It was doing well until this scam broke out. And another thing is about the pharma industry in Germany. Pharma industry is doing. Many people don't know that Germany is the largest pharma exporter in the world. People think Germany mainly exports automobiles and mechanical devices, but they export a lot of pharma products also. Their exports are above 80 billion euros. So pharma industry is not impacted because of this. Indeed, the demand of pharma companies has gone up because of this COVID-19. Because pharma and healthcare, they are working Uh, day in day out to find a vaccine which could work against this coronavirus. So they are that with that the pharma industry, and there is a big demand, and on the chemicals industry also, which pharma industry and others need, but the demand is high for pharma products. So if you are mostly into pharma products, I don't think it would be a problem for you. You could most probably find a job here. And coming to the other miscellaneous industries, I think more or less you have to take a call. You may see a lot of jobs on LinkedIn and Glassdoor, but that may not portray the reality here. As I said, you have to be really thoughtful when you move to Germany this year, because the things are not smooth. And there are a lot of people who lost, mainly contractors who lost their contracts because companies want to save money, so they asked contractors to leave by scrapping their contracts, because they are expensive than the full-time employees. And if a full-time employee, you can ask them to work and they were forced to work less in few companies. So with this, the job market in Germany is not looking good until I think this would be the same until the December. Anyways, December you get Christmas and it's a holiday season. Uh, so and they are expect many people are expecting another second wave of COVID-19 in September. Like once the summer ends in Europe, and in the fall or in the winter season, in the early winter, they are expecting another wave. Right now, no one knows whether we would get another wave, or we may get vaccine, or we may get some kind of herd immunity, but it's just an assumption which we cannot rule out. So with this, I would propose, suggest you, being an ex-job seeker, just to be on the safe side, don't resign at your companies in your home countries, uh, else you will end up in deep misery, as the situation is not it up to the mark here for a job seeker. You need things to be smooth so that it's easy for you to get a job with peace of mind. So that's what I would like to suggest. If you have some kind of questions, please leave in the comment section below. Me and our admin Kiran Reddy, we would be replying to you. Until then, I forgot. Kiran told me this. Please subscribe our Faraway Planet YouTube channel, and also we are on LinkedIn. We are also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So we would be posting more and more content going forward, giving you the updates happening in Germany. But your support is essential for us to see how we are presenting the videos. And if you have some other questions, we would be more happy to help you with. That's all. Until then, thank you. Bye bye.